Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have the first slide, please? From the start, rest assured that only elementary concepts are needed to understand the deception behind the claimed risks of environmental tobacco smoke, also known as second-hand smoke or passive smoking. It is not necessary to have the sophistication of a scientist, and anyone armed with common sense can see through this fallacy. The only new word that you might encounter here is epidemiology, which is the study of diseases in human populations. As a way of opening, if you buy a grocery pack with a printed weight of 1.56 kilograms, you assume that it has been weighed with a reliable scale and with a margin of error of a few grams. You also assume that the package contains what it declares to contain and not something else. If you were filling your car with petrol, the display may say 10.63 liters, and you assume that a reliable pump was precise within 10 to 20 milliliters. If you were in the United States and you assumed that you were buying petrol, you would be wrong, because all US petrol is adulterated with 15% ethanol, which is an inferior fuel. Can I have the next slide, please? In other words, when the amount of something is presented as a number, that number must reflect a measurement. In turn, measurement implies instruments that have measured according to specific units of kilos, grams, meters, liters, and so on. The instruments must be very precise, with only a negligible error, and the people who take measurements must warrant the identity of what is being measured. Can I have the next slide, please? Now, what was measured of environmental tobacco smoke, of ETS as we should call it from now on? Indeed, the size of claimed ETS risks is expressed as precise numbers. For instance, 1.21 for lung cancer, which implies measurement. Because lung cancer is a disease of old age, the risk is said to be proportional to the total dose of ETS inhaled over a lifetime of 60 or more years. Therefore, a risk cannot be calculated without an essential and reliable measurement of total lifetime doses in actual people. Can I have the next slide, please? A lifetime dose will have to be measured as the weight or volume, grams or liters of ETS inhaled over an entire life. At any moment, the dose will depend on the concentration of smoke in the air, the quantity or volume of smoke inhaled, and how much of the smoke is retained in the lungs and how much is re-exhaled. Clearly, conditions will vary continuously from moment to moment, day to day, month to month, year to year. And the measurement of a lifetime dose will have to sum up millions of momentary measures. Next slide, please. I guess it may be possible to imagine that persons could be equipped since birth with instruments capable of recording ETS concentrations, inhalation and retention rates in real time and on a continuous basis. In practice, however, such instruments do not exist, and the outfitting of real people for a lifetime of continuous measurements is definitely out of the question. Indeed, the prospective measurement of the sum of momentary doses from birth to